Okay, if you're still working on the quiz, please just keep working. No worries. I am recording this lesson, so let's just make sure my voice is getting recorded. Yes, it is. Hi. You may. Yeah.
Trash bin looks nice.
Okay. So we are in our Ivory workbook. We are on page 20. And if you remember correctly, on our periodic table, we know that the charges are as easy to remember as 1, 2, 3. Group 1 is +1, group 2 is +2, group 3 is +3. And then after the really easy 1, 2, 3, we hit the red zone, which in this case is gray. So we could also call it the gray zone. The reason I like red zone is because it begins with the letter R. What other relevant term begins with the letter R? Rock and roll or Roman numeral. Roman numeral. So metals that are in the gray zone require Roman numerals, and the Roman numeral tells you the charge. Okay, and you'll notice within the red zone, there's a little staircasey region that is not red or gray, and those are the ones that are +1, +2, +3, because again, those are as easy as 1, 2, 3. Okay, so it's really easy to know the charges of groups 1, 2, and 3. It's really easy to know the charges of those little yellow highlighted ones. Okay, but when we get into the red zone, we don't know what the charge is because it could be many different things. For example, manganese, which is here, has very famously like about 9 different possible charges, something crazy like that, okay? So we're not going to try and cram them all on there. We're going to let you figure them out, all right? So how do we do that? Well, first of all, we need to know how to represent it. So if we have iron with a 2+ charge, we write that as iron, Roman numeral 2. If we have iron with a 3+ charge, we're now on the next page, page 21, we are now iron, Roman numeral 3. So how do you find out the Roman numeral if you are given a formula? You write out all the ions. You find the charge of the negative ion. You find the total negative. You find the total positive, which is equal to the total negative. And then you divide up the positive charge amongst them all. And that sounds really straightforward, but it is really quite straightforward. Let's try one together. Okay, it's all written out for you there, but I'm going to do it over on the side. So if I have Fe2O3, how many iron atoms do we have? Tell your partner, how many iron atoms in Fe2O3? 2. That does not mean iron 2. No. That tells you how many irons there are, not what the charge is. Okay, that little 2 tells you the number of atoms, not the charge. So in order to figure out the charge, what we have to do is we have to say, I have 2 irons, Fe and Fe. I draw them both out. I have 3 oxygens, O, O, O. I always know my negative charges. Okay, I always know my negative charges. I can go look them up. So I go to my periodic table, which in this case is just back here on the previous page, and oxygen is in group 16, which means it has a -2 charge. So I know oxygen's charge. And for anyone who's just joining us, we are on page 21. 21. So we know that oxygen is -2. And I have 3 of them, which means that the total negative charge, if I add up -2, -2, -2, that gives me negative how much? 6. Compounds must be neutral. So I'm going to take my positive charge and add it to my negative charge to get an overall charge of 0. What does that mean my positive charge has to be? It has to be positive 6 in total, right? In total. But I look at that and then I say, where do I get that total of 6? I get it from 2 iron atoms. That means that I'm going to take that 6 and I'm going to split it up. So I get a 3+ and a 3+. If I add 3+ and 3+, I get 6. Okay? And remember, this number right here, that is going to be your Roman numeral. Okay, so we're going to have then iron, Roman numeral 3. And then, of course, what do we do with the ending? Oxide. Okay? Straightforward enough? Okay? So there are other ways of doing it. You can, for example, let's do the next one the other way. Cu3N2. You can uncrisscross. So this is on our next page. So you take your Cu and your N, and you have a 3 and a 2. You remember how we could find the formula by crisscrossing? Well, we can now uncrisscross. So we're going to bring this 2 up here. So that's going to become Cu2+. And we're going to take the N and we're going to bring the 3 up there, and that's going to become 3-. You do have to check, is this charge correct? Does nitrogen have a charge of -3? Check on your periodic table. Yes. And yes, it does. Okay, so if we go back to our periodic table here, nitrogen, we have -1, -2, -3. And if that charge works for the negative ion, then you have successfully found the positive charge of the positive ion. So now you can say, what would we name this compound? Name this compound for your partner. What would the name be? Okay, copper nitride. However, copper is in the red zone. So what does it need? It needs a Roman numeral. Okay, so we go back and we say, all right, it needs a Roman numeral. Am I going to use the 3 for the Roman numeral, or am I going to use the 2 for the Roman numeral? The 2. Remember, the Roman numeral is the charge. 1, 2. Okay. If that crisscross, uncrisscross thing does not make sense to you, you can do it the old-fashioned way. Copper. How many coppers do I have? I have 3. So I write Cu, Cu, Cu. How many nitrogens do I have? My formula says I have 2. I have N and N. I look up the charge for nitrogen. It is -3. I add up the entire negative charge. That's going to be -3, and -3 is -6. I need my total charge to equal 0. So my total positive charge also has to be 6, but in this case it is +6. What charge does each copper have to be for 3 coppers to equal 6? Each copper has to be 2+. Okay? Is good? Okay. We're going to do one more. Let's see if I have it. Oh, here's your Roman numerals if you don't know them. Hopefully everyone can do 1, 2, 3, right? Those ones are easy. And if you know 5, then you know 4 because it is 1 before 5. IV, 1 before 5. I before V, 1 before 5. What's 6? 6 is 1 after 5. Yes? And 7 is 2 after 5. And 8 is, well, I don't think we're ever going to do 8, so we're not going to worry about it. Okay? If you don't know your Roman numerals, make sure that you have learned them, okay, in the next couple of days. I did want to go through this example because I want to show you what happens if you uncrisscross this one, okay? PB S2. Let us uncrisscross. Here comes the 2. It goes up there. That gives me PB 2+. There's nothing beside the PB. So what charge should I put on the S if there's no number here? What does no number mean? How many is no number? 1, okay? So that's a 1. Looks like a 0. I'm going to get rid of that. I'll write a 1. Okay, that's a 1. So that would be 1, and it would be negative because it's the second element. Okay, now, this is where you have to ask yourself, is this charge correct? And the answer is no. S is 2-. Yes? So if you uncrisscross and you discover, oh, my negative charge is not correct, we had to multiply this by 2. Yes, so what do we have to do with our lead? We're also going to have to multiply it by 2, which gives it 4+. Personally, I don't love the uncrisscross because I feel like it's you're using a magic method rather than understanding what's going on. Do you know what I mean? Like I feel like if you were to write out, I have 1 lead and I have 2 S's and each S is 2 negative, then that gives me 4 negative. That means I need to have 4 positive, which means my lead is 4+, and that just sort of seems more intuitive than uncrisscrossing and checking the charge and doubling and just, yeah. So I like this better. I do this in my head. If you can do it in your head, that's great. If you need to write things out, make sure you've got lots of paper, okay? Don't be shy about using lots of paper if you want to, just to write things out if it helps. You don't have to. You can do it however you like. All right? So, yes?
You're talking about the charge. How high can like their own rules go?
We're not going to go past 7.
Like,
I don't know. I don't know.
Can it go high though? Like,
I don't know. No. Anyway, for this one, we would now name it lead. How do you write 4?
1.
1 before 5. Okay? Don't get 4 and 6 mixed up. 1 before 5 is 4, 1 after 5 is 4, and then that would be sulfide. Now, all good? Okay. We're going to throw in polyatomic ions now. Okay? And the only reason these are weird is because sometimes people get a little messed up with the subscripts. Polyatomic ions. We're just going to ignore that for now. We'll go back and take a look at it if you need to. Ionic compounds with polyatomic ions. Let's take a look. La, 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 la. There we are. No. Nope. We're moving ahead to page 44. I know, you're like, what happened? We missed all those pages. It's because those are what I give my grade 9s. So if you feel like you need to go back and do those little sections in between, feel free. Okay. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take a look and we're going to say, if I have SN and I have a polyatomic ion, what's the only thing I do differently? This is page, what's page did I say? 44. Yeah. Do I do anything differently? Not really. I say, how many tin do I have? How many tin? I've got 1 tin. So I write out 1 tin. How many nitrate do I have? 2. So I have an NO3 and an NO3. The only thing that's different is now we have to look on our polyatomic ion chart to say what is the charge of NO3. And the charge of NO3 is minus, page 44. 44. Yep, we skipped a whole bunch. So it's -1 and -1. We add up those two charges. That gives us -2. The whole thing has to equal 0, which means I have a +2. And there's only one place for that to go, 2+. So it is going to be tin, Roman numeral 2, nitrate. Is good? Okay. Let's do one that's going to mess you around maybe a little bit. Let's see if I gave you another example in the next one. Aha, yes. I like this one. This is on page 45. How many iron? 1 Fe. How many PO4s? Are there 4 or are there 1? There's 1 PO4. It's not 4 POs. Okay, that's what you have to watch out for. If there's no brackets around a polyatomic ion, you just have one of them. So we would write out, I have one Fe and I have one PO4. Just write out one of each. Look up the charge on phosphate. It's 3 minus. 3 minus. Everything needs to equal to 0, so I also need to have 3 plus, which means that it's iron 3 plus. And iron is in the red zone, so it's going to be iron Roman numeral 3 phosphate. Is good? Okay. And if you're like, I don't get that it's not 4 of them, you can see, what do I have 4 of? I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 oxygen that are part of the single PO4 ion. Yes? Okay, so let's make sure. If you feel ready for it, you can practice on page 52. So if you felt good about everything that we did today, you can practice on page 52. But page 52, some will require Roman numerals and some will not. So if it's not in the red zone, no Roman numeral. Okay? If you feel like you need more practice, maybe just with the Roman numerals on the polyatomic ions, you know, you might go to page 48. Okay, so if you need to, like 48, 49, there's a lot of room for you to show your work there, but, or go back to page 48. And when you are ready, you can do quiz 4 and quiz 5. Or if you just want to skip to quiz 5, you can just do quiz 5. I'll let you skip quiz 4 if you want to. Up to you. Yes. Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you're here, so I'll say, right? How would you do this? You took them on 4. Oh, no, 4. I think you did quiz 3 already.
So quiz 4 is optional. Totally, like if you do it and you want me to throw it out, I can throw it out for you. Okay? So be ready to write quiz 5 tomorrow first thing if you don't manage to get it done today. Okay? Yes. Will we have a test on unit 3? Yes, but not yet. Okay, yeah, because we're kind of. So we do, I gotta do this with breaks. Right, we'll come back to this afterwards. Okay, yeah. Let me see.
Quiz fans.
Who has done quiz 5? Sabina has done quiz 5 and that's it. Okay?
Okay.
Yes.
Look, Cindy Lauper.
Yes.
Starting Vancouver in August. I know we can get tickets, but they're still open. You should try to get them.
Ooh, I'll think about it.
Yeah,
I have a hard time staying.
Oh, sorry. And you missed the hard one. So I thought I'd just tell you.
Well, thank you. I will consider that because August is a good time because then I could stay up late.
Yeah.
Right, because school here, like, school day. Yeah.
Yeah, 21st. And I think it's Roger?
Yeah. I'll just come.
Yeah, I know what saying now. I said it wasn't that bad. Okay, that's good. Oh, yes, you mentioned what was
Yeah, yeah. You ready? Folks, if you want to do quiz 5 today, if you're like, I'm ready to go, just let me add it. Quiz 5, what you would do is you would walk back here and you'd be like, oh, here's quiz 5A. You go right behind quiz 5 and you take out quiz 5A and you go, okay, here we go. Hi. Yeah.
So like this is right for like the I.
Mm-hmm. +1, +2, +3. All of those.
Yeah.
And this is +1, +2, +3. And this is -1, -2, -3. And that one is 0. Yeah.
So like if it's like 10, how would I find out like?
Those are the ones where you have to do like what we were just doing. Okay.
Okay.
So
Like the
now if we were going the other way, like from the name to the formula,
Yeah.
I would actually tell you, right? Like I would give you, I would say, I don't know, from
Like the crossover stuff.
3.
Right.
And then you're like, oh, from 3.
So like crossovers.
Yeah, and then you would say, okay, let's say it was sulfate. Okay.
Right.
You see that 8 ending? That means it's a polyatomic
Yeah.
ion. So you say SO4, you look it up, it's got a 2- charge, and you can R2 So 4.
All right.
Yeah?
Yeah. Thanks.
Hi.
It's tomorrow.
Yeah.
What should I do?
For the quiz tomorrow. So quiz 5, let's just. So quiz 5, you can see that all of this relates to quiz 5. I wouldn't worry about this first one. Okay, maybe just B, C, D.
ECD?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Thank you.
Good question. When are we getting our test?
Tomorrow. I was gonna do it today, but then I'm like, well, we've only got 4 minutes left, and then it'll just be better if you have more time to look at it. Yeah.
Thank you.
Brian. Maya. You did quiz 4. Yeah.
Quiz 5. Is this quiz 5?
No, that's not. Go behind the tab. Go behind the tab. Anna. Thank you. Kason.
Mercury just followed right.
There's Mercury 1 and Mercury 2. It's in the red zone, isn't it?
This would be Mercury 1. So this would be Mercury 1 next.
Nice. Thank you. Sabina.
Watch me get one thing.
Actually, where I am is only, it's not in the red zone. So
I just know such a I can do it. Yeah. And do you have everything? Yes.
thank you. Aya. Shiho. Thank you. There's just one carbon. Right? Because we got, and then we don't have 3 COs. Not like that. So we have 1 CO3. So we've got a carbon. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hi.
Do you have any more quizzes or maybe the test on that quiz that we did earlier?
There is a redo on it if you need it. And then like unit 3, we will be doing more of unit 3 later on, but I want to finish the naming stuff first. It was just a really nice thing for you to do over the holidays because like it's like review from grade 10, so and 9 mostly. Cool. You say, Dylan, take your quizzes. Yes. For tomorrow's quiz, do you have your book? Okay, hold on. Tomorrow's quiz. C, D. Okay, there you go.
Oh, what conceptual. Wikipedia.
Maya.
The organic chem.
Huh?
We do a separate one?
Yeah, there are separate quizzes for it. There's like 3 quizzes and 4 quizzes or something like that.
And our integrated trade will get added.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ready.
You ready?
I'm ready.
Nice.
She gave us homework. You make it? What?
Yeah. Physics.
There's something still here. If all of them out, like there's no more like garbage bin.
이걸 좋아하네.
Wait.
내가 불쌍한 거지. 귤이야. 헐. 진짜. 선배가. 내가 이렇게.
맛있긴 맛있어. 한국에 무슨 써먹었어.
완전 좋아하는 이건 좀. 아, 이번도 좀. 약간.
For AMU, do you have to write atomic mass unit with an S, like units? On the answer key? Oh, you don't. Okay. Thank you.
Welcome back. It was really good. I got so that I actually because all of this stuff is All right, my friends, we have. Go sit down.
I looked at the picture of the study guide.
Go sit down. We need to talk about garbage.
I've got this talk already.
I'm sure that most of you have had this talk already, but I did think I would put it in the context of our classroom. So for those of you who don't know, there are no more garbage cans in the classroom. Yes? So what you'll need to do is if you have garbage, you will need to walk out into the hallway, and our closest station is just over that way beside Mr. McLean's room. Okay? I'm not going to make you ask to go throw away your garbage. Just pretend that the garbage can is in the classroom and walk to go throw it away like you would if it were in the classroom, and then come back as quick as you can. Do you know what I mean? Like, it just seems like it would be ridiculous to make you ask to go to throw away your garbage. Apparently, the staff does not understand that paper towels go in the organics bin, because I looked, and in the staff room, there was our landfill, and it was full of paper towels. And I'm like, no, like, what is wrong with you people? Do you not understand how this works? So apparently they don't. So just letting you guys know, paper towels go in the organics, unless we've been using them in chemistry and they have something nasty on them, right? Like a nasty chemical, in which case I will provide you with an actual garbage bin. In the meantime, we do still have paper recycling in here. Oh, that's important. Okay, paper recycling is this pink bin. It's up here. And if you have like an apple core, okay, it can go in the compost. Okay? But you can also go walk it out to the hallway. All right? It's just that if I'm eating an apple and I'm teaching my class, there's no way that I'm going to like leave it lying on my desk or walk out into the hallway. Like, just, I need a solution, right? I need to be able to teach and compost at the same time. So we have a quiz today, and does anyone have any questions before we begin?
When do you do the brackets and no brackets?
You don't need to do that for this quiz. Overall asking, you do the brackets, like the, you do it around a polyatomic ion when you have a number on the outside of the bracket. So if you have 2 of a polyatomic ion, if you have 1 of a polyatomic ion, no. If you have 3, yes. Okay. So nobody has any questions. Does anybody need a periodic table? Periodic table. Anyone else periodic table? Huh? You're just working it out. Okay, got it.
I was almost done.
Sure, whatever. The other thing to take note of is if your name is up on this board, Evan, Rico, Owen, Mahan, Sambed, Gustavo, Bahar, Yanju, Hanya, Mohammed, Ella, Kusumi, Sambed. I'm sorry, I said some of your names twice and some of them I didn't. That means that before the break, we did some quizzes and you were away or writing the test late or something like that, and you missed them. Yes? So we did quiz number 8 and quiz number 3. Those are from unit 4.
I thought immediately after I came back for any test or
I don't know. I don't have a mark for you. So, anywho, so you'll want to get caught up on those as quickly as possible this week so you don't fall behind. Yes, they are short little quizzes. They are on stuff that we covered last year and the year before, but just to make sure that we're all in the same place. And with that being said, you need a periodic table. You just memorize them all.
I use AI. It's in my brain.
Should I hold your phone up? Hold your phone up. I use the AI, so.
You don't know whatever you think. It's never exactly dangerous, right? Really fast enough. No, it's different. Separate. Need charges on.
Huh?
Need charges.
No, you don't need to charge us. Nice. It's easy. 1, 2, 3. Okay.
Shut up, Owen. That's good.
Did I miss anybody else? First 3. Oh, you don't have to see. You did that one. Okay. Well, yeah. Your chance.
not the house number, but yes, it's okay, moving with that, so, yeah.